This is just like the layout again that we add on the frame. We can add to component to the panel, which is what? Let me show you the flow layout again. Let me just set, before we show you, just add first, then you see it. JText username, right? And lowercase n, and same, we're gonna add JPassword, right? PWD password. Because this is only allow me to add one object, that's why I have to combine them into the pane. Make sense? Alright, so let's run it again. Enter user's name. We actually don't need that box. Let me make it enter password. And we actually don't really need input dialog anymore because we can create our own, right? Message dialog should be enough, right? And message dialog. Show message dialog. Need to know. Okay. Enter new panel. Sorry, this is not the password one. Of course, we're not going to see it because it's the password. Let's see what we get. It's the password. Right? We're not going to see it. Enter username and the password, right? So now if I do that, when I click register, it's going to register for me. But the logic is not done, right? Until my logic is done, it's going to register for me. Let's see. When I hit OK, of course, this has to be the same concept. Implements action listener. We don't need to because actually this is simple than that. Because OK already read it. Remember when you do that, you can just say, let me show you. I'm going to just simply show you the system.out.print get it's not pane, the JTXT username, right? I can just call the method getText, like get and center again, because field should have getText, then you get a text, right? And let's see if I print out password. GetText is the same, but I want to say PWD and password, and then close this. Let's test that out. Let me minimize this. Register. I want you to watch this one, right? It's going to print out. Let's say we create the username for James. James Pat. We're able to read in. And this way you don't need to worry about the action listener, right? Implemented. If you use JOptionPane, it already did get something for you. Make sense? I just show you your JOptionPane that you know already. Just modify a little bit by adding this three components in. Very simple, right? That makes sense, easy to use, right? So then, if I have this, then I can register account. How? I'm going to link this back to my person. After I get the text, I set the text. I set username, right? because my person, how do I use my person, guys? We have to think about how many users you want to allow for this. If I have only one user, so it's going to be user equals to new person, correct? And then this guys, I don't need any more, it works, right? I just say user dot what set username to the text that he just entered in. That makes sense, right? James go there, right? Instead of system.out, I don't need any more because I have setter from your previous assignment that you just learned. You can set the room, just window, floor type, carpet type, right? Color walls yellow, right? Same username, you set username, set password, right? So I can set password to just get the password text here, right? It's just old one that we never use, we call deprecated. There's a better way than this one because they figure out that way it's not secure. But for now we're gonna use that, okay? Deprecated, I mean this old one never use. You should not use. We have the better one replacing this one. We have person use, person class, not user class. Okay, let's take a look at how to use an array first, right? Before we really integrate back into your code, because we're going to create an array to store person. Now, I just explained how to initialize or syntax of an array. Let's see how we can use it here. One way I just show you is, let's say I want to store student score. I just say score, right? Right, I have to specify data type first. Double an array of score equals to new double, and let's say for 20 students, correct? How do I store the data? You just use the bracket 0 to refer to score 0. This is like your house number at index 0, right? Alright. This is like your street name score, right? House number 0, right? Who live in there? Maybe 100. Mr. 100, right? And this is street name again, and house number 1, right? Mr. 50, right? See that? That's how you use them. You don't have to if you want to store just 2, right? We have a group of data. If you want to show them, we just print them. It's just like a variables, right? Variables, right? Instead of, if you just use a variables, normally just do what? In s, like x equals to 10, right? And then you can print x, right? But an array, you just need to put the brackets and specify the index, right? And then you're going to print them all out. Same, you need to do one by one, even x, y, and z, right? Because you don't know what each score is going to be, correct? So then I need to show score for student number 2, right? Which is 0, 1, right? And then 1. Now if I print this, that's how you use an array to store the data and print out or refer to it. Just specify the index. Is that simple? How about the other slot, right? Just like if you never initialize, there's a problem here, right? You have to give the score. Same if you try to, now an array, if you try to print it out, there's no errors on the syntax because compiler will not know. But when you run, let's see, when you run, it's going to say an error, which is, you're going to see an error right away. Let's see. Oh, yeah. By default, remember primitive data type is initialized for you to 0. Come back to that page, remember? So that's why all of them will be 0. So luckily that, right? But the question is, how about if I refer to 20 should be up to 19, right? If I want to print them all at the same time, I could do copy one by one. This is called repetition. Repetition means what? Means for loop, right? You can use for to help. I don't need to explain how to use for, correct? It's in I equals to 0, right? I less than an array dot array, you can get the length, then you know the size, right? Which is going to be 20, right? Which is, you can do less than 22. And then I plus plus, then I can just say I. In this case, it's going to, you don't need to do manually one by one. That's a good thing of using array, better than just a variables that you have to do by one. You can use loop, right? And the rest are 0, right? Now what happens if I accidentally say less than equals? That means it's going to loop until number 20, right? That is an error. The length, right, index outbound, see that? You need to say 21 in that case, right? Make sense? This is a group of data. We can shorten your loop here. And you may see this on your test. Instead of doing the loop like in I, we can just say double S or say temp score, and then just say temp. It's going to print the same result. It's just going to find each, this is like for each element in the score. I can just call each element, which is the type of double. I want to print each of them out. For each element in the score, which is the type double, I want to print them all out. Make sense? That's how you use an array. An array can also be a type of person, because this is a type, right? Then, for your registration, we can just make a group of person, which is an array. Just put the brackets right in here. You get a group of person, right? And now a group of person, you not initialize it yet because the type, the syntax, remember? A person and the size, right? If you want to have, you can store up to 1,000 person, right? You have to have new, right? Correct? Same thing. Instead of double, just person, right? Now I can store up to 1,000. Which we have person here, then we can just create a user, which is very important now. That's why we want to have a counter. Remember we were talking about this a little bit, something about statics. Keep tracking how many accounts we've been creating, right? How many users you have so far, right? Static count, and this has to be an int, right? And this, we like to have them as private. Now,